All right, so everybody knows the name. Everybody knows what we're doing. It's going to be the 1st through the 7th at Rough River Lake um, Park Airport. I'm the organizer. Leah's going to be the competition director. So there's your two point of contacts if you have any questions. What we're going to cover during this presentation: overview of USPEC, why it matters to us, who should be there and here, the task catalog, rules, safety, preparation, and how to get involved. This will be the first FAI sanctioned endurance competition in the United States. It builds on our previous fly-ins at Rough River, getting a lot of good participation in. And last year, with Gaggle's integration of meetup competitions, I just felt like it would all kind of fit together. So our objective is one, to determine the U.S. and Open champions. It's always kind of fun to see who's the best, especially here at home. We want to foster good skills and goodwill. We want to set a good example for and inspire new pilots. And then, of course, we want to select our national team. My goal in years forward is that there are multiple competitions across the United States, and we all kind of act as qualifiers, right? Because flying in Kentucky is nothing like flying in California or Texas or Florida, that's for sure. Location highlights. We are going to be at the beautiful Rough River State Park Resort. It's run by the state. We have a lodge, marina. You'll see all that stuff later slides. But there's literally so many amenities, like it's hard to cover them all. My favorite amenity there is a 3,200-foot paved runway. We have grass strips on either side, grass tie-down areas. There's a small FBO, if you want to call it there. And it's centrally located right in the middle of the United States. We're going to have multiple classes. It's a minimum of 4 per class. So the PF1 female and the PL1, if we want females classes, we have to have at least 4 pilots for those. There's going to be medals awarded for the U.S. champion, the Open champion, and then, of course, for each class. And then we have the Tim Gaskins Legacy Award that Freedom Flight Academy is sponsoring this year. Oh, I went too far. Dang, how do I go back a slide? There we go. All right, task catalog. You can find the task catalog at that QR code. It's also on my website. You'll see STOL is added as a weather permitting task at the end. Everything else, they are standard FAA tasks that can be found in their annex. I think it's Annex 4, Chapter 10. Why would you want to compete? Obviously, you're going to build some skill development. It's a natural progression path if you want to compete internationally. Once again, I want this just to be one of many local events across the United States that our pilots go around to in a circuit. I bowl personally. That's one of my other favorite hobbies is bowling. I bowl in the winter and I fly in the summer. With the USBC, you have to travel to so many events in order to qualify. Then you will get sponsored to go compete internationally. Very low barrier to entry vibe here. You know, you just come, you show up. At the fly-in last year, once again, I had a discovery style-esque competition. Once the official endurance competition is complete, once we complete all those tasks, we have the final ceremony. I'm going to open up the tasks to the fly-in participants, so that way they can go and feel like they've participated in something bigger than themselves, right? So there's obviously multiple benefits. I saw all the people here. We've all been to fly-ins. We know what that's like. The testimonials and quotes. Hey, you go to YouTube, look at our recap videos from last year. You'll see how much fun everybody has. Pilot requirements. USPPG 2. I'd like for you to have at least 100 hours being good physical fitness and at least 18 years old. There's NAA registration requirements. Reach out to her if you need to update yours. I'm a big fan of a crawl, walk, run method. Okay, this is going to be my crawl. I'm going to ask for everybody's patience, as this is the first time I've ever run anything like this. But there will be daily briefings. Quarantine system, just like the BOPC, flag systems that we're familiar with, the red and the green. We're going to use the pool noodle style that I saw at Sun and Fun. They seem to work really well. and they're easy to be seen against the grass. So we'll use that flag system. For communication, Gaggle has a great meetup communication thread, so we'll be using that, as well as our standard 3-meter ham radios there just to communicate between the volunteers and essential personnel. Safety will always be our number one priority. This takes place on an Army Corps of Engineers airport. The Army Corps of Engineers, the U.S. Army, owns this dirt and the water and the lake around it. So we have to be on our P's and Q's when it comes to sticking to all the official rules, okay, FAA rules. So it's always going to be pilot responsibility. Obviously, you're the PIC. We will have field marshals out there, but it will always be the pilot's discretion. If the marshal tells you to take off, you don't have to take off. Take a look around. You are the pilot in command. We'll have the GPS trackers, the standard GPS trackers that you have BOPC. They'll be logging your GPS coordinates. Gaggle just has the convenient way to map the tracks, and we can apply those GPS tracks from the receiver toward the Gaggle tracks, overlay those, and that's how the event will be scored. There's going to be a complaint and protest process, but that's not to be detailed in this overview brief. The task catalog, it's available on the event website, which I'll navigate to here in a second. As far as the schedule and logistics, okay, we're going to have morning and evening daily windows. So we have up to 7 days to complete all these tasks. The BOPC, they usually complete those in 4. So we have some weather days. Registration and fees, they're online, they're payable online, $360. That gets you in the door. If you are a sponsored pilot, you can reach out to your appropriate sponsors, see if they are sponsoring the event and if they have sponsorship openings for their pilots. There's on-site camping, there's lodging at the park and resort, there's 2 hotels right across the street, gas station right across the street, and there's an FBO there where we're going to have briefings, big tent, just like everyone's used to. We'll cover that on a map here in a minute. We are going to have a competition prep course at Freedom Flight Academy the 16th through the 19th of July. That's a couple weeks before the event. If you're in the area, platinum level sponsors, Vitterazzi and Airnest, have sponsored the competition with the grand prize of a Moster 185 on a Liberty Airnest 1.4 frame. Absolutely beautiful machine. Our previous fly-ins have contributed over $200,000 to the local economy. Our town, when I tell you, any point during the year, there's only about 300 to 500 full-time residents. So when you guys come out to the Flying at the Falls, when you guys come and support events like the Paramotor Endurance Championship, you guys are making a huge impact on my small little town. That once all the schools go back in August, our local businesses really kind of struggle August and September until Labor Day, when we actually shut down most of our businesses for the winter. So you guys make a huge, huge impact to my local town of, little 300 to 500 people. We just want to say thank you. If you want to participate in this competition, you just register via the website. That's my WhatsApp. If you are international and want to contact me on there, and that's my email. I'm going to get there on the 1st. You're going to be parking in this little T section here. This is going to be like the VIP parking. It's closest to the FBO, and that's where the bathrooms and the showers, and there's like a little meeting office here. The airport indicator, if you're going to fly in, is 2 India 3. And you can see where last year we had some pilots, they flew in, they just parked their aircraft there farthest away from everybody else, so it's out of the way. The task catalog, if you want to download it, it's on the event website. You just click it, and it downloads a Word document. There are 5 restaurants within 10 minutes of the runway. There's ethanol-free fuel right across the street, over 200 hotel rooms. Competitor entry fee, I think it's $360. Pilot check-in begins at 9. The opening ceremony will be Sunday. We have some government officials that have not given me an exact time yet, but it's going to be in the afternoon, so we can get our first flying window in Sunday night or Sunday evening. All the tasks will be completed by Friday at noon. That is the very last day that we can run the competition. We're going to have a lot of pilots coming in for the fly-in, and I want to keep the airspace as least congested as possible. That's another note that we're gonna. Actually, that's a good segue. Okay, we literally have 5,000 acres or 5,000 square miles. Sorry. So here's my airport. There's no restricted airspace, literally for like 30 miles. So all of this area here is open from this highway. This is Fort Knox. If you're familiar with Fort Knox, you do not want to fly over there. So where this little bend in the river is, due south to this road, all the way over to this interstate, all the way up to the Ohio River. So once again, I've already lost where my lake is. Okay, so right here is our lake, and we have 5,000 square miles of flying. Okay, so when the competitors are flying tasks, there's nothing that's going to stop me from telling flying participants or non-competitors, saying, hey, the competition pilots, they're going to have priority. You get, an hour in the morning. We can come up with whatever, but to take off by yourself, no one else can take off except for competition pilots. You guys get up out of the area, and there's not going to be any conflict with other non-competitor pilots. How to get here? You can fly into Louisville or Nashville. Those are two major international airports, less than 2 hours away. If you don't want to get a rental car, I'll make sure you get picked up from the airport. It's not that far away. If you are driving in a camper, stick to the major highways. There is a shortcut road. If you're coming from the south and you come up Interstate 65, there is a shortcut road that goes through Mammoth Cave National Park. If you have a camper, you are going to have a bad time if you try to haul your camper through Mammoth Cave National Park. Stick to the major highways for me. Where to stay? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different hotels within 5 minutes. St. Clair Motor Lodge, that's my favorite one. She's right across the street. Where to eat at? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 restaurants within 5 minutes. This is a lake town, so there's plenty to do. If you want to find things to do and extracurricular things, we actually have our own app for our lake. You can click that link, download the app, and it's literally all the touristy things that you'll ever need. The Gaggle event link, you will want to go there. That way you get the meetup chat, and you get all the pertinent information. If you are subscribed to Gaggle, you can get 35% off your annual prescription if you follow that link and you use the code name Brennan. If you've already subscribed to Gaggle for this year, the Play Store will issue you a prorated refund based upon how many months that you have left. There's a link to the volunteer form. If you have anybody in your entourage that would like to volunteer, use that link. Here's a visual kind of map of how everything's going to be laid out. We have our VIP camping for our competitor pilots. Our non-competitor pilots are going to be over here on this side, and in the overflow camping on the west side of the runway. The red section in the middle is for vendors. Our bathrooms and showers are 150 feet away from the VIP campers. We have a water spigot to fill up your campers full of water. Disc golf, mini golf, tennis, basketball. What's this other thing? Pickleball. They just converted something to whatever pickleball is. We have that now. Basketball. Your diner is down here. All your lodging. There's a kids playground. This section here is where I like to put my spectators. I have not advertised this to the public. I didn't want a bunch of spectators to come, but if they do show up, this is where I want to put them, over here by the playground. If you want to order your competition entries, you just go over here, you click one, and then hit checkout. It'll take you to a checkout page. There's a map at the bottom of this page, so you can click it and get your straight in instructions.
Okay, I got a question. And I think Mike would be a really good person to answer it. So, Mike, get ready. Um, I hope Mike's there. He turned his camera off.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, and Bobby too, since he's with Jillian. The question is regarding pilots who've never been to a comp and want to try it out. Even though Mike's been to a comp, it's a little different for what he's doing. What's the best way for pilots who cannot attend the practice in July and practice at home and not feel overwhelmed? What is the best suggested training to do for those pilots with 100 to 200 hours of flight time? So, what I tell people is practice some of the accuracy stuff with the Skittles or the bowling pins. And I usually hand people a set of like 10 pins, or I show them how to make a set that's good enough to practice with. But Mike is now practicing, and Mike can answer. And Bobby, who I'm not sure what he's done yet, maybe he can answer how he's practicing. So go ahead, Mike.
Well, I've made my own bowling pins, which is helping out. Right now, I'm trying to set up today for the wind because it's been pretty calm here lately. So I've never really done bowling pins and some good winds. It's definitely going to be a challenge. Trying to time my fuel and distance, which I've never really tracked before. So that's something I'm trying to learn. And Brennan, to your comment on videos with Daniel, I have been watching them, and that kid is an encyclopedia of information. So that's what I've been kind of focusing on and going after the things that I really don't know too much about. So.
Okay, Bobby.
Yeah, same for me. I built some bowling pins out of 2-liter bottles of soda and pool noodles, some duct tape, and just been surrounding myself with pilots that have competed before, working with Johnson Q to kind of break down the tasks and get those explained to me, but really just leaning on some of the pilots that have experience competing and just kind of gaining the knowledge from them. Of course, the YouTube library also out there as well. But yeah.
Now, Bobby, do you have a decanter or a comp bottle on your paramotor?
Not yet. That's in the plans for the next month or so.
Yeah, so you can reach out to anybody. Jillian certainly knows how to put a comp bottle on. It seems confusing, but it's pretty simple. I will say the decanter comp bottle per regulations needs to be approved. They can be expensive. The Viterazzi bottle is unbelievably nice, maybe overkill, but it certainly can help. You do not need a comp bottle to compete, though. It just helps when it comes to the calculations, and it helps to draw every last ounce of gasoline out of your fuel tanks. So even if you don't have a comp bottle, you can still compete. I will say this, when it comes to going to your first comp and wanting to practice and the jitters, don't worry about it. We jokingly say nobody's going to be good. You're going to have the time of your life anyways, even if you fail at every task. And I think, Jillian, your first comp, did you do well? Yeah, but you had a great time, right?
Yeah, and it's just about understanding, like you can practice as much as you want on your own, but it's not until you're actually in the atmosphere and doing the things under pressure and in certain windows and with other pilots around that you really get the experience and the full knowledge of how it all operates and works.
Yep.
Yep. So even
That-
if you don't feel fully prepared, still come and try it, and it will help you learn and grow so much.
Yeah, I think that's the most important message for a first timer is just show up. You will learn more than you can imagine on site than you can learn from asking pilots and practicing at home. And you can be spot on 100% dead accurate at home, and you come to the comp and you're horrible. But that doesn't matter. It's a change in the game, and it's fun. And I like to tell people it's the best fly-in you'll ever go to. That's the difference with the comps. That's what draws so many people. The camaraderie is different than at a fly-in. You know, weekend warriors versus people trying to do things. It's a completely different scene, and it's not embarrassing. And if you screw up every task, it's everybody's supportive, 100% supportive, and that's the difference between the athletes and the weekend warriors.
Little hint: practice those
Hey,
middle end
Leah,
launches.
in your
and
question that I think
landings.
you were reading, you mentioned practice in July. Is that a thing?
It's just a block of time that I have set aside in my schedule that if anybody wants to come out to Rough River, I'll have one of my Airbnbs there at the golf course. I'll have that open for us. So up to 6 people, I guess, can just come hang out. I really want this to be, it's going to be a learning experience, right? I don't want it to be something where somebody shows up and they weren't aware of a rule or weren't aware of how the official process works. So it was just, once again, 4 days in my schedule that I don't mind to take out if anybody wants to come.
Hey, Brennan,
learn
question
more.
for you. I want to arrive before Saturday and do some flying and acquaint myself with the
Okay.
area and get a couple of flights in, get my gear dialed in for your LZ before the competition. Is there a place, can I stay on the airport before
sure.
Saturday, or?
No. So the airport does not open to us until Saturday. I have to reserve the airport a year ahead of time, and I only get a week. So Saturday to like Sunday was my thing. If you want to show up early, though, let me see if I can share my screen again.
That airport doesn't allow paramotor pilots outside of this competition?
Yes, you can fly there. You just
Got it.
can't stay there. You can't camp there. So I fly there pretty much daily. But about 3 miles away is Falls of Rough Resort, and we have 10 Airbnbs along this river. And then if you're in a camper, we can park our campers underneath where this, you can kind of see there's a power line there. We can park campers, RVs, whatever in this section. Sometimes I just fly straight out of this little field. Yeah, those are good questions. There's got to be more. Oh, RV dump station. You got to pay $10, but the lady across the street has a dump station. I'm working on getting a pump truck to come out.
Are
maybe
generators
like
allowed
Friday or
in
Saturday.
the airport?
Heck yeah. Oh, personal rule is got to be an inverter generator. Don't be like one of these people last year brought one of these Westinghouse 13,000 watt yeah. Inverter generators are welcome. If you have a generator, you can sleep across the street.
We had a chat going on earlier regarding the maps that are going to be used in the competition. Do you have any details you can share about those? The scaling, how big they are?
66.
Okay. Just seriously, if y'all old folks are having trouble with your glasses,
Shut your face.
They're not bifocals, all right?
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm still yet to get them, and that's the problem.
Don't cry to me, Argentina.
Yeah, Bobby, stop laughing over there.
Anyway, yeah, that's my opinion. Pick a large scale map and stick with it.
Where registration opens at 9 a.m. Saturday and closes before the ceremony, before the first task. Does it close? Can people show up late and decide to fly?
I'm saying registration closes at the start of the opening ceremony. That was one scheduling thing that we discussed heavily in the beginning was, I mean, I've always scheduled my fly-in at the end of Moonshiners. Moonshiners is a grand event, and it's only a hop, skip, and jump away. So I don't want to interfere with those guys at all because, I mean, it's an amazing thing. I'm trying to be there. So being that there may be people at Moonshiners that want to compete, it's about a 5-hour drive. So I figured if you leave Moonshiners Sunday morning, I should offer those people enough time to get from Moonshiners out here. But I do want to run the first task.
Okay. Last time I competed, I had to run around during the competition to go and procure additional fuel tanks for sealed fuel tanks for precision tasks that had a limited fuel amount. Do you know any of the particulars on the fueling sequences for limited fuel tasks?
Right? Will cans be provided? Will we need to bring our own cans?
Yeah, I would like to do it all in a speedy version where you guys all empty your motors, you bring them to the officials who inspect that your motor is empty, and then we measure out your fuel. You put your fuel in the tank, and then an official seals your tank, and then we
Where am I going to store my motor during the competition?
So we have a FBO building that's there. There's I think it's like 25 by 25. It's a climate controlled, like little meeting.
I have a question. Actually, more of a request. I need everybody to if they hear or somebody's talking, if they need information for the licensing, you can just direct them straight to me. Just give them my number. I don't want to put it on the meeting in case this gets recorded and on the internet forever. Just send them my number. Tell them to call me on WhatsApp or send me a text on WhatsApp. If you guys know the links to the licensing, make sure they know they have to have a USPPA rating. And that's it. I think spread the word about the FAI license, as it's always seems to be a mystery to everybody until they get it.
We mentioned that there might be non-competitors flying at this airport, and then your fly-in runs congruent to this competition. How many pilots did you have show up for your fly-in last year?
Our main concern always is keeping the airspace, one, safe, and two, separate. Like I showed you on the map, we have 5,000 square miles of flying area. It is my intent that if we do have a lot of non-competitor pilots that are wishing to fly, I can simply say, and this is what they did at Sun and Fun, was simply say, hey, competitor pilots, we are going to allow the non-competitor pilots tomorrow to fly on the southeastern quadrant of our area, right? So there we have so much room. There may only be one task or a half a task that's in this huge section of 1,000 square miles that we tell non-competitors, hey, the competitors are flying. They have priority Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Got it. Okay. So there is going to be some measure of control over the non-competitors, just so that we're not all
Hey,
mixed up in the air.
as it's been explained to me, and I've had issues with this from the beginning, as it's been explained to me, this is an LZ with the most control you've ever seen. Like, because the Army Corps can actually take equipment. Like anybody who breaks rules here, it's not a slap on the hand and get out.
Question, Brennan, those rules, are we going to need to wait until the safety briefing to hear them, or are they written down somewhere, or can they be posted on the competition website beforehand?
No, I'm gonna add it to the website.
Yeah, I think-
Just to add the Corps of Engineers rules.
I
Leah,
appreciate
Brennan,
being able to read the rules, as that will keep me from breaking them. So the Army Corps boundaries are going to be clearly indicated on the map, then, I imagine.
Yes, the property will be on the gaggle. On the gaggle, when you load it up, the airspace map,
Perfect.
there will be red restricted blocks. On
Perfect.
just a general map, if you look on like a satellite view, the lake, like seriously, just the lake.
Also, if you're a pilot with a connection to a potential sponsor, work with them. They may be able to cover your expenses.